probably want to get to making music right away once you get your MPK Mini 4 out of the box. So grab the included USB-C cable. The QR codes on the box and on the Quickstart guide are the quickest ways to get you to the software included with the MPK Mini 4 and to any firmware updates you might need to download. In fact, the QR code will bring you to a page on InMusic's site where you can download Studio Instrument Collection, a collection of over 1,000 sounds that you can use to start making music with your MPK right away before even registering. So let's connect our MPK Mini with the USB-C cable. Optionally, you can connect a sustain pedal, and we've got the full-size MIDI out, but let's start talking about software before we get into hardware. So now with Studio Instrument Collection downloaded, I'm going to open it and go to the audio MIDI settings. There, I can find my MPK Mini 4 MIDI port, and I'm going to check the box right next to it. Now we want to make sure that we press the plugin/DAW button so that we are in plugin control mode, which will give us full control over the Studio Instrument Collection. So of course we can play the instruments, but also we can scan through the library with the bank buttons. Not only that, but we also get macro control with the encoders on the MPK Mini 4. You can also use this central encoder under the screen to scroll through the different presets, find the one that you like, press the button, and instantly load the sound. We've got everything here from bass sounds, full sequences, great sounding keys, big evolving pads, and also drum kits across genres. And in the drum kits, our macros can control the level of a particular pad, the panning, the pitch, or the filter. You can use the pitch wheel to put little bends in your music, and the modulation wheel to transform your sound. Use your octave buttons to access higher or lower ranges of notes. And the Arpeggiator will let us create little arpeggiated sequences, which we can latch, meaning hold them without having to hold down the keys, with the latch button. If you hold ARP and you use the key bed, you can change different parameters of the ARP, like the rate, or the order. We can even do random. Mutate it for a variation, and freeze it so that I can add unarpeggiated notes. Along with our arpeggiation. Note repeat can be especially useful for drums, like using this repeated hi-hat pattern. If I hold note repeat, I can also use the key bed to change the rate. Don't forget that these pads are pressure sensitive, so I can add or remove pressure over time to create more dynamic patterns. And if you're not so confident in your keyboard skills like me, you can actually take advantage of the scale and chords mode. So if I hold shift and turn scales mode on and then configure that scale, I can set a specific key and scale, in this case C major, and that will mean that every note that I play will be in the key of C major. No wrong notes. Holding shift and turning chords mode on means that we can hold down a single note and play chords built on that note. If we go into the chords configuration menu, we can actually change the voicing of those chords from basic triads to sevenths and ninths and strict major sevenths for the house heads. The MPK Mini 4 also comes with other included software like Splice and Melodics, as well as Ableton Live Lite, which you can use to start making music. With Ableton Live Lite open, I'm actually going to open Studio Instrument Collection within Ableton Live as a plugin. And I still get all the same capabilities, like the ability to switch presets and macro control, but also now we have access to the DAW control mode. Now we've also got a full video dedicated to explaining how to use the MPK Mini 4 with Ableton Live. But let me just show you some of the main features and also mention that there are scripts available for the MPK Mini 4 in most popular DAWs. So with a drum kit loaded up in the Studio Instrument Collection, I'm going to make sure that I'm in DAW mode now. I'm going to use the tap tempo button to tap out the tempo that I'm feeling, then hold shift and turn on the metronome, and you can see that Live is responding in real time. We have transport control, so I can play and stop the project. So now I'm listening to the metronome. But with this metronome going, let me record a really simple loop. Okay, let's overdub on top of that. Great, we're gonna keep that for now. Now I'm gonna hold shift and change my pad mode actually, so that I can arm the next track. And I've got a bass here. Let's record this. We can turn the metronome off. We can change the cutoff. My bass in Studio Instrument Collection. Just a cheesy little demo there, but hopefully you can see we can take control of Live with the transport controls to play, stop, record, overdub, get the timing right with our metronome, and utilize our pads to do things like stop or arm tracks or launch them. And we are recording a few videos featuring the new Akai MPK Mini 4, so keep your eyes on this channel or check the links down in the description for more. Head to support.akaipro.com for any troubleshooting, and most importantly, have fun making music with the Akai MPK Mini 4. This has been Taetro with Akai. Have a good one.